All right, what's going on, everybody? So glad that you are here with us this evening. We're so excited that you decided to join us here. We got another Righteous Connections live, and this time I'm not by myself. I'm so honored that Pastor Dewayne Freeman would be here with me tonight. So as you coming in, you know how I do this every time I have a guest. I gotta make sure we set the stage. We gotta get this thing right. So as you're coming in, I need you to shout out where you watching from. Say I'm so and so. I'm watching from, L.A., New York, wherever you watching from. I need you to let me know because look, I gotta see these numbers rise up before we bring our honored guest. I don't want to have the man of God in here and we don't have enough people on the line. Okay, I see the numbers coming up. They're starting to come up, but I need you to keep coming in. Let's go. Tell me what your name is. Tell me where you watching from. I want you to say all that good stuff because tonight, man, we're in for a treat. I believe tonight we're gonna get some good understanding on our purpose because there's a lot of people who want to be in ministry, but they don't understand some things. They got some things I would say twisted. They got some things they don't really understand. So as you come in, okay, we at 78 live right now. Okay, we got Devon says he's watching from B More. Come on, we got 88 now. Come on, let's get this thing going. Let's get these numbers up. Come on, say your name, say where you watching from. Come on, let's get this thing going. I believe tonight we are in for a major, major treat. So as you are continuing to come in, you watching on YouTube, my YouTube family, come on, comment, say your name, say where you watching from, because I know tonight you are going to be blessed by what you hear tonight. Okay, here we go. We got Tamara Jones watching from Burlington, North Carolina. Okay, so the East Coast is coming in strong. Okay, we got Phaedra. Okay, Miss Phaedra, I see you from NOLA. She in the house. Aaron Sweetington. Okay, or is that Sweeting? I don't know. I'm not saying it right. I don't know. But he's watching from the Bahamas. Nassau is in the house. Come on, Nassau, Bahamas is in the house. As you come in and keep saying where you watching from. Keep saying where you watching from. Aaron is saying, Lord, have your way. Oh, yeah, the Lord, we believe the Spirit of God is going to have his way during tonight's broadcast. And so what I need you to do as you come in, come on, tell me where you watching from. Tell me your name. Tell me all that good stuff because I got another 20 to 30 seconds I'm going to keep doing this and I'm going to bring on Pastor Dewayne. Here we go. We got Kyra from Albany, New York. Kyra from Albany, New York. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Righteous Connections. Thank you so much for joining us. We are honored that you would join us. And so, of course, if you're watching on YouTube, you can still share this broadcast. That's right. You can hit that share button, text somebody, tell them, hey, I'm watching Righteous Connections live with Caleb and Pastor Dewayne Freeman, and I think you ought to join me. Here we go. I got my mom. She's on the line. Okay, mom. Hey, mom. How you doing? My brother Dominic, he's on. He's representing Slidell. Here we go. We got South Africa in the building. South Africa is here. I don't want to botch up your name, but I'm just honored that you would be here all the way from South Africa. I need you as you're coming on. I need you to share this on your timeline. If you know how to start a watch party, start a watch party. Let's spread the word. Okay, I see some more coming in. Miss Z. Miss Z is watching from NOLA. Okay, we got Marshalla Smiley watching from New York. Brooklyn, New York is in the house. The East Coast is represented heavily tonight. So here we go. I see some of my YouTube people. Miss Michelle, what's up? What's up? Glad that you are joining us right there on YouTube. We're honored to have you. So I'm ready to get into this thing, man. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. So let's bring on Pastor Dewayne. I'm so honored that he's here with us. There he is, the man himself, Pastor Dewayne. How you doing?
What's happening, Caleb? What's going on, man?
Man, look, you got the nations coming out to hear you tonight, man. This is exciting.
They coming for you, Caleb. They coming for you, man.
No, look, I told him, I said, Pastor Dewayne is coming. We got to show up. Look, because look, they still coming in. Somebody else, Miss Cleopatra, she from the Bahamas. She on. Then we got somebody from Pennsylvania. So they coming out, Pastor Dewayne. They coming. And they want to hear what you have to say. And so, look, I brought you on here because man, your journey is so incredible to me every time I think about it, and then every time I talk to other people about it. It's like it's mind blowing. And I want to do this for those of you. I don't know how, but you may not know who Pastor Dewayne is, but I need to just go ahead and give you this spill before we get into it. He is the assistant, officially the assistant pastor of Spirit of Faith Christian Center in Maryland, in Baltimore, Maryland, Temple Hills, and Brandywine. Man, they have such a major work that the Lord is doing through them in the Maryland area, and they have touched the entire world with their ministry. And here's the crazy part, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to dig deep into this. I'm going to get all in his business because I know his journey is going to bless somebody. And here's the thing that I love the most. He made the decision to submit to his younger brother. Now, you don't hear that too often because usually the older got to be over the younger. But clearly, the Spirit of God spoke to him and he obeyed what the Spirit of God told him to do. So, Pastor Dewayne, I'm here tonight and I brought you on because I'm asking this question to many people who are watching. So you think you want to be the man, okay? Because Pastor Dewayne, as you know, you all in your ministry, you have quite a few millennials, and now we getting into Generation Z. Everybody wants to get the microphone. Everybody wants to start something. Now with this pandemic, everybody's starting a church on Facebook. Everybody
Yeah.
got something on Instagram. So, Pastor Dewayne, I want you to, if I'm gonna question you a little bit, and I know your answers are gonna bless so many people. So, the first thing I really want to pick your brain about: how did you identify your place in ministry? How did you do that?
Uh, Before I answer that, Caleb, first of all, I want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Man, we are so godly proud of you. Uh, I mean, I heard this even in the past weeks that a guy your age, you are far ahead of a whole lot of us when we were that age. And so I want to kudos to you uh, for being able to don't allow the peer pressure
Yeah.
to pressure you and push you out of the position that God's called you to do. And then I want to shout out to your amazing dad and mom, Pastor Herb and Carol Rowe. Tell them the Cowboys coming this year. So,
Oh
uh,
man.
but yeah, Caleb, when you talked about how did I identify my place in ministry, it was something because I didn't have what a lot of people have today. We didn't have somebody to grab your hand to be a model,
Mm-hmm.
uh, to be and to give you a message, and then to mentor you, and then to monitor you to make sure that you will maximize what God placed on the inside of you. I didn't have that. So
Mm-hmm.
what I did have was a father that kind of led and made us do some things. And so I discovered my place while I was serving.
Mm-hmm.
See, I wasn't even thinking about a call of God on my life. I was just obeying my dad and then started serving.
Yeah.
Serving here, whatever they ask you to do, serve there, serve here. And all of a sudden now, while I'm serving, I discovered my place.
Man, that's
and and
powerful.
it's and it's almost like while I'm serving, it's like you got your head down, but then you find your place. It's like a fish in water. You
Yeah.
you you know when a fish get in water, you see some potential in the fish that you never would have seen before. But when the fish is in its place, it's like it's get creative.
Yeah.
But I remember years ago, me and Apostle Mike, we went on vacation, and he was a scuba diver, and
Yeah.
we went snorkeling. And while we were snorkeling, he gave me some bread, and he had some bread. And man, I seen a whole bunch of fish come, and he wanted us to feed the fish, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, man, all these fish coming. I'm thinking they're gonna eat my hand. So you got your head on the water, and when they got close, I let it go. He said, "Man, hold on to the thing. Let them eat it out your hand." And I'm saying they're gonna eat my hand up. I ain't gonna hold the thing.
Yeah.
So I begin to hold on to the uh, the bread and allow the fish. And so while they were coming, all these fish right in front of me, Caleb. And so I said to myself, I'm gonna catch one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I can just hold my hand like this and then swing around, I gotta catch one because there's just so many of them.
Yeah.
But every time I swung to try to catch them, I couldn't catch them because they were in their element.
Yeah.
But when I went fishing the next week, when I pulled them out of the water and got them in the ship,
Mm-hmm.
they just flapped and I was able to grab one.
Wow.
It's something about when you discover your place in ministry, Caleb.
That's
There
powerful.
is a creativity that comes on you, man, and that's how I did it. I
That's
discovered
powerful.
it serving.
Wow, that's powerful. Now I want to stop right there because I'm looking at some of these comments. Welcome to all of you who are joining. I need you to put this in the comments if you are watching. There is power in serving. There is power in serving. I need you to put that in the comments because Pastor Dewayne said something so powerful. And Pastor Dewayne, as you were saying that, I thought about when Samuel went to Jesse and Samuel saw David serving. He saw David doing his job, doing his responsibility, what he was supposed to do. And he had saw all of Jesse's sons and he saw David serving. And Samuel said, that's the one right there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's the one. He said the Spirit of God told him, that's the one I want you to anoint. And I believe one of the issues many millennials have is that we don't want to serve, Pastor Dewayne. We see somebody like yourself. We see what you have helped Apostle Mike build, and we see how easy it is for you all. And we see, man, they got thousands of people coming to church. And look, man, shoot, I think I can preach better than him. I think I can do that, man. And they don't know the simplicity of it is simply serving. And you hitting on that, I think, is something our generation is missing heavily. And as you continue to serve, your ministry just elevated more and more. Because I guess this leads me into my next question. Okay, you are, getting involved in ministry. Did you ever have the thought to yourself, okay, I want to be the man. I want to start my own thing because I know you're a humble guy, but did you ever have that thought? Did it ever cross your mind?
No, that thought never crossed my mind. You know why? I think from the very beginning, matter of fact, when I really discovered what God had decided for me to do, it was in
Mm-hmm.
my dad's church. And I left my dad's church because I knew God told me to go connect with Apostle Mike, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, this is what I said. I didn't even know it, Caleb. This is what I said. I said, God, if you ever wanted me to do something beyond this,
Mm-hmm.
then you gonna have to speak to him to tell me that.
That's
See,
powerful.
see, I
Wow.
never, I never, I never. So I freed myself from that like years ago. So I didn't have to think about that because I've already had an agreement that he would be the one to tell me. So it only thing was left for me to do was to make his thing come to pass. You you you
Man.
you know, matter of fact, sometimes Caleb, I sit back and I think I want more for him and what he's called to do than I even want for myself.
Now wait, time out, time out, time out, time out. Because that statement right there, the average person in ministry, they can't fathom that. Can you say that one more time, please? Please.
I want more for him. I'm talking about his vision that God's placed on the inside of him. I want more for him than I even want for me.
Wow.
And I know God's placed some things in me, but I want more for him. So that it's like I push his thing. See, this is what, and God showed me years ago. He said, I want to use you to show people, because everybody wants to be the man. You know,
That's it.
it's that man mentality that make you feel good. And God said, this is what I want to do. Because I seen it with Elisha serving Elijah. I
Yeah.
seen it with Ruth serving and Boaz saw her.
Yeah.
And I saw it with Aaron and Moses. You know, Aaron was Moses' older brother.
Right.
And it's almost like me and Apostle. I'm his older brother. I just look better. You understand? And he don't have a problem with that. And I don't have a problem with it. Just like I know he the leader, I don't have a problem with that. He don't have a problem with me being the better looking one.
Right.
But Caleb, this is what I did. I said, God said, I'm going to use you to show people you can be the number one man in the number two position.
Wow.
If I was in the 100 position, God was saying, I want you to be the number one man in the 100 position. See, you can be the man. See, some people think it's a position, but it's a
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah. It's a mindset. That's
So,
powerful.
so, so you can lead from the back. You can lead from the middle, because what I did, I have embraced his thing like it's mine.
Yeah.
So while everybody trying to get a thing, I already got a thing.
But I want you to step back for a second. This is a major problem. I see this not only in millennials, but I've seen through, my father's ministry. I've seen people do this time and time again. You said something so critical. You said, I wouldn't make that move without submitting that to Apostle Mike. That's basically what you said in so many words. Can you maybe talk about that for a second, a little bit more? Because we have a lot of people, what they do is they say, God told me, and they never submit to their quote unquote man of God, who they say they are submitted to. Can you bring some more light to that mindset, that way of thinking?
Yeah, because I found out that the way up is to go down.
Mm,
Submission is the position that God will place you in to receive power.
man, that's good.
I was at a baseball game one time, Caleb, and while I was at the baseball game, uh, a guy was on first base, and the next guy came up and hit a double. So they had a guy on third base and a guy on second base, where the guy that came up the bat was like one of the power hitters.
Mm-hmm.
So the back catcher stood up,
Mm-hmm.
and the back catcher held his arm out like this. And I said to myself, oh man, they can ready to walk him. I said, I will never see them throw a fastball to this guy because the catcher was standing up.
Yeah.
The
Wow.
next batter got up, the catcher got down in a low position. What he
Yeah.
was doing, he was submitting. And when the back catcher submitted, I saw 95-mile-per-hour fastballs. I never would have saw him when he was standing up. So it
Yeah.
got me. Submission is the position that God will place you in to receive power.
That's powerful.
And
Woo.
let me tell you this. When I got to the Faith Dome one time,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Price was talking about this guy named Al Harvey,
Yeah.
Pastor Al Harvey. Al Harvey kind of cemented what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Al Harvey said God had called him to go preach. He went to tell Dr. Price. Dr. Price said no. And he went back. I think he went back a second time. Doc said no. And you talking about years later, he comes back. Doc tell him yes. And when he goes to St. Louis, he was one of the fastest growing churches in St. Louis. He didn't lose anything because submission is the position that you receive power.
That's powerful. Boy. You man, look, you okay, let me get on because we can stay right there. Okay, I want to hit on this. I pose these questions, and if you have not shared tonight's broadcast, I need you to share this. We got to get these numbers up because somebody on your timeline, they need to hear this because this is powerful right here. I want to get into this. Um, and I say a lot of millennials, but once again, I know that is our target audience here. That's a lot of our listeners here, but there are many people who could see this broadcast. Okay, there are a lot of people who desire in ministry. They want to be known. They want to have their name out there. I want to preach all over the country. I want to be on the Word Network. I want to be on TBN. But you, as an assistant pastor, because an assistant pastor, you all have the ministry Spirit of Faith. You all have been on international television for years. And now, typically, the assistant pastor, he or she may not be on the flyer. They may not be on the billboards, on television, whatever. But you, in your position, you have still, the Lord has still favored you and pushed you and promoted you to the place where you've been on Daystar, you've been on the Word Network, you've preached all around the country. So, how do you believe the Lord has positioned? And I know this connects to some things you've already said, but many people want that. They want the things you've experienced. How have you positioned yourself to experience those things?
It's something because I was so busy sharpening myself to be better instead of being bigger. A lot
Mm,
of people, they focus on being bigger, but they don't want to get better.
that's
You, you,
good.
you know, and so I begin to sharpen myself. And while I'm sharpening myself, like I said, I'm sharpening myself because I'm getting my leadership, I'm getting my directions from my leader. So I'm sharpening myself in my area, like I said, to make his vision come to pass.
Yeah.
So I have embraced his like it was mine. Matter of fact, not too long ago, Apostle Mike was talking, and we was talking leadership stuff or something. He was talking to some leaders, whatever, and he made a statement, and I held on to that statement. Most of these guys want to be discovered, but they don't want to be developed. See,
Wow.
we were sharpening ourselves. We were sharpening. Matter of fact, I look at some of these guys, man. They want that platform. They want that position. They want to be known so much, and they don't want to listen. They think they know everything. They don't come to any leadership training. They pick and choose who they want to listen to, but then they want to go out and do their own thing. Are you kidding me?
Man.
Like how do you do that and you don't even think submission? Most
Wow.
people talking about they want to be like Jesus. You don't want to be like Jesus, because watch this. Jesus had the anointing on him at 12 years old.
Yeah.
He in the temple. His mother and father, I don't know what his mother and father was thinking about, but they was going back home and they left Jesus. They when they got a day away from the place, they with Jesus. They go back to town, go to the temple, Jesus in the temple. And Jesus said, I want to be about my father's business. Y'all should have known where I was going to be. Man, the Bible said, Mary said that, man, I don't care how anointed you think you are. You get your little self and get on this coach and let's get out of here. The Bible said, and Jesus submitted to her. He's a teenager, Caleb. We never heard from Jesus until he's 30 years old from then.
Wow.
Here go Jesus, the anointed one from God. At 12, 13 years old, his mother grabbed him and said, you better get yourself and come on home. And we didn't hear from him. How many guys would, no, I got to get out there and do my thing, man. Jesus submitted to his parents.
Yeah.
And I saw that. I'm looking at that. And I'm saying to myself, wow, why do these guys don't get it? They don't get it. And and I think some of the older ones, that's why I said my goal now is to be a legacy. I want to grab hold of some leaders. I want you to think legacy minded leaders,
That's
because your
good.
legacy will live longer than your life.
Wow. Wait, you got to say that again. Somebody need a cash app you just off of that word. Go, please say it again one more time.
Yeah, legacy minded leaders, because you ought to be legacy minded, because your legacy will be around it longer than your life.
Wow.
Now the point is where you develop yourself to make yourself better, where people want to embrace your legacy.
That's powerful, man. You leaving me speechless. You
Man, let
came
me
with
tell
your
you something.
guns loaded.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Caleb. Dr. King said sometimes years ago, he said, everybody can't be famous, but everybody can be great, because God left a scripture in there. If you want to be great, then serve.
Yeah.
Serving now is the pathway to great. You want to be great? Then serve.
Serve. Wow. That's the
Hey,
pathway.
let me show you something. It was wild, because while I'm doing this, Caleb, I didn't know people were watching me.
Right.
While I'm serving, matter of fact, I was in a car one day with this well-known pastor. I went to another church to hear this pastor, and the guy that I was staying with, he was like a PPA, so he had to pick this pastor up.
Mm-hmm.
So I get in the car with the guy, and he told me don't say nothing to the guy when he get in. So I'm sitting in the front seat and I'm looking ahead, and the guy get in, and he said, the guy said, "How you doing, sir?" Called his name. If I called his name, you would know him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Oh, I'm doing good." He said, "It's good seeing you." That's what the pastor said. And then he said, "Now I'm sitting in the front. He's sitting in the back." He slapped me on the back of my head and he said, "Who is this?" And I'm saying to myself, you told me don't say nothing. And this dude gonna get in and slap me up. He playing. And so I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "My name Dewayne Freeman." He said, "Dewayne Freeman." He said, "You Pastor Mike's brother?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Man, let me tell you something. They talking about you."
Wow.
I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "People are talking about you, saying you are the older brother and you serving him like that." I didn't know. I wasn't doing that for somebody to watch. I was doing that because that's what I do.
Yeah.
And here he go tell me this. And then some years later, I got called by one of your guests, Pastor Sammy Holloway. Man, I respect this dude like he's the Godfather. You understand?
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
Sammy Holloway called me to preach. Pastor Sammy called me to preach at his church, right? When I got off the plane,
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking to go get my bags. It's a guy that's holding my name in his hand. What he was really telling me, if you don't see your name, because I don't know you, and if you don't see this name, we gonna miss each other. And I saw I saw my name on this card. I said, "Man, that's me." And he said,
Right.
"Hey." And I'll never forget this. I get in the car and he told me, he said, "Pastor so-and-so was here Monday," because they had a whole week service, right?
Uh-huh.
And they got a humongous church, right?
Oh yeah.
Awesome church. He said, "Pastor so-and-so was here Monday." Man, he tore the place up. And he said, "You know him?" I said, "Yeah, who don't know him?" He said, "Evangelist so-and-so was here Tuesday." And then he said, so-and-so was here Wednesday. I was saying, man, he said, "Man, I hope to God you got something to say."
Ah.
Now, I was laughing. I laughed.
Oh, that's
And then
funny.
I guess 5 minutes up the road, he thought about what he said. And I guess he didn't want me to tell Pastor Holloway. And he
Right.
said, "Hey, man, I didn't mean to say that." I said, "Man, I ain't paying no attention to that." But Pastor Sammy Holloway had me there for 2 nights, Caleb. 2 nights, Dewayne Freeman that nobody knows.
Two
So
nights.
the first night after I ministered, the second night I ministered, we went into the back. And I asked him, I said, "Hey, Pastor Holloway, it was an honor ministering here. But man, I'm telling you, man, you got to help me. I'm trying to figure out how I get 2 nights at your place, which you can invite anybody."
Yeah.
He said, "Dewayne, let me tell you something. I've been watching you, and I watch how you serve your brother." And this is what he told me. He said, "I said, anybody that serves somebody like that got something to say."
That's
And
powerful.
he just fortified serving was the pathway to greatness for me.
That's powerful. Wow. That's powerful. Okay. Look. All those in the comments, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching, I need you to share this. Make sure you are sharing this. If you are getting anything out of this, I need you to put in the comments, I'm receiving. I'm receiving. I need you to receive this word tonight because this is blessing me so far. I got a few more things I want to get into Pastor Dewayne's brain about, getting to his mind. Look, I want to get into this one. Once again, this is dealing with Pastor Dewayne. A lot of people who are, they say they desire to be in senior, I guess, leadership. They say God has called them to be a pastor. So here's the question: if I am a minister in a church and I believe God has called me to be a senior pastor, how do I handle that with my pastor? And right before you answer this, I want to say this. I've seen anybody who has, I'll just say, our ministry, anybody who has left our ministry and said those things and they didn't do it the right way, there has been zero fruit from that decision and not doing it the right way. So, Pastor Dewayne, and I'm sure you've experienced it many, many times, or you've seen guys go out and do this. How should this be done?
And Caleb, I've seen it so many times in so many others' lives that uh, looked at, especially ministries like ours, look at the pastor and see how easy they make it look. And they think pastoring is about just giving lessons on Sundays. And then now they get this little God idea that it's time for them to pull out and go do the same thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like this. I believe principles work for anybody, anywhere, at any time.
Mm-hmm.
Principles. They work for anybody, anywhere, at any time. We have a principle in our ministry that Pastor Mike set up, and I think it's a principle that so many other leaders could use. This is our principle. If you believe that God has called you to start a ministry, if you married, tell your spouse, and then after that, go tell your pastor, and then keep your mouth shut and find out what's the next step from him.
Hmm.
See, we already know around in our ministry, if you believe you got to call of God, you don't go around telling people around in the ministry you got to call and what God is doing in your life. If you're married, you tell your spouse, and then once you tell your spouse, you tell your pastor, and then let your pastor direct you from there.
Yeah.
But 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 they people don't like that. People don't like
No,
that because they want to do their own thing.
exactly. And they want to do it their way. Because I remember one time sitting in the Faith Dome listening to Dr. Price, and I was young, man, sneaking in there in the pastor session. I said, "What am I doing in here?" I was thinking about that. But Pastor Dr. Price said something so, man, I'll never forget this. He said, "A lot of you think you want this. You think you want a building like this." And he started getting into the financial responsibility of having a facility like the Faith Dome. He said, just to change the doggone carpet in this place, it costs $500,000. And once again, it goes back to what you just said. They see people like Apostle Mike, they see you guys get up there and it looks so easy. But pastoring is also happening Monday through Friday and even Saturday, whatever days, because there's so much more than just getting on the microphone and preparing your message. There's much financial responsibility, and the type of facilities you all have. Man, it costs money to keep those facilities in an excellent manner. So you said something that was key. You said, "Here's the process: talk to your spouse, talk to your pastor, and don't tell nobody else."
And don't tell anybody else. And there's a wild thing about it. Most of them will say, "Man, I don't need nobody to control me like that. Nobody tell me." that let me know you ain't ready for leadership. Because everybody submits themselves to somebody. Matter of fact, Jesus, the one you follow, submitted himself to the Father.
Wow.
Jesus never did anything on his own. He
Never.
always, what he heard, he spoke. What he saw, he did. He didn't do anything on his own. He was showing us the power of submission.
Yeah, that's
And
powerful.
I like what the centurion soldier said, that didn't have a relationship with God, but the centurion soldier had a principle. He said, "Man, I recognize you a man under authority because I'm a man that's under authority, but I'm also in authority.
Yeah.
And when I tell people to go, they go. I tell them to come, they come." What he was really telling us, and he wasn't even a believer. He was
Hmm.
telling us, if you want to lead, you first gotta follow.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. If you want to lead, you first got to follow. Who are you following? I know.
Who
I
are you
think I heard.
following?
I heard. Doctor. I think it's R.A. Vernon. He said, "Don't tell me who you over until you tell me who you under."
Until you tell me who you under.
That's good. Look, let me keep going here because our time is moving fast. Okay, I want you to answer this. I know you've been saying, how you've made all these great decisions, in submitting to Apostle Mike. But Pastor Dewayne, if you could just keep it 100 for a second,
Hmm.
were there ever times where it was difficult submitting to your older brother? Or your younger brother, excuse me. Were there ever times where that was difficult?
There were difficult times, but there never was a difficult in submitting.
Hmm. That's
See,
good.
see, I was able to split the difficult times from the person.
Mm.
It's almost like with people, and I see it all the time. It's amazing. Christians have a problem with it, but the world really don't. Like,
Hmm.
Christians don't know how to separate the person from a performance.
Hmm.
So when they keep them together,
Yeah.
and when you're in the world, like I got a letter from the court, and they wanted me to come to jury duty, right? I couldn't stand jury duty. Did you ever been to jury duty?
I haven't been called yet, but I'm sure my day is coming.
Man, they called me to jury duty, and I'm sitting up there, man. I'm saying to myself, man, I hope they don't call my name, right? I don't want to be nobody's case, because if they don't call your name at a certain time, they'll let you go.
Right.
Man, all of a sudden they said Dewayne Freeman. Ah, Lord. I follow behind the sheriff, me and some other people. We go up and they sit us down in these chairs when we get there. So they telling us about this case, right? And
Hmm.
now now, since they call me, I'm figuring that I would be a good juror.
Hmm.
I would be pretty good at it, because I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm gonna listen to what you gotta say, and I'll make a good decision. Well, the guy was the one of the attorneys was saying, okay, this is the case. He said the guy's name is such and such and such and such, and he's telling us a little bit. And then I'm saying to myself, oh, I know him. Man, he grew up around my way. I said, oh man, I ain't know that. And so when the attorney went around, he asked this question, and then he asked me, do you know such and such? I said, yeah. He said, Your Honor, he could be dismissed. Now I'm mad. I'm mad as I don't know what, right? And I'm leaving out. So I asked the guy, I said, man, I would have been a good guy for them. I mean,
Yeah.
and he said, no, when you said you knew him, the prosecuting attorney didn't want you to, he didn't know if you couldn't split the person from their performance. So
Hmm.
instead of you saying he's guilty, if he's guilty, you won't say he's guilty because he's your friend.
Right.
And what they were saying, they knew how to separate them, and the Christians don't.
Hmm.
So I learned at an early age, everybody gonna have difficult times when you're in relationships,
Yeah.
but that don't have to control your action, because my response is my responsibility.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the that's the phrase of the year, because a lot of people not taking responsibility for their responses. Look, let me get to these last few questions. As many of you are watching, I need you to keep sharing. Invite somebody to watch this broadcast. I believe we are all going to walk out of this one so much better. Um, you wrote a great book titled "Integrity Below the Belt." Okay, and so Pastor Dewayne, a lot of our young great ministers out here and pastors, sometimes we get caught up in little situations. I'll just keep it right there.
Right.
As a pastor that, all the times I've been in you all's ministry, y'all got some, and I'm gonna just keep it 100. Y'all got some pretty good looking ladies that go to y'all ministry. You know what I'm saying? So,
I
but
agree. I agree to that. I agree to that.
so how, as a pastor, how have you, man, just been so disciplined to keep, and I like to say it like this: keep your hands clean. How have you been able to do that throughout these years?
Number one, Caleb, I do what I wrote in that book.
Mm-hmm.
I do what I wrote in that book. You
Yeah,
understand? And what I like to do is I like to. We learned this. Even Apostle Mike was saying it years ago. I've learned to go to the end because they, like you said, I mean, I'm traveling, I'm going, and even in our ministry, and if you look halfway good, and you got a good word and people enjoy you, the women will be drawn to you,
absolutely,
especially when they see what's on your life.
absolutely.
Now, now what I had to do was God has given us what we call an imagination. An imagination will allow you to be in one place and escape it and go somewhere else. See,
Mm-hmm.
like my body is here, but my mind can be in the Bahamas.
Right,
My body can be here, but my mind can be in New Orleans.
right, right.
So if that's the case, then what I like to do is when I see Miss Fine and I know Miss Fine wants me,
Miss
because
Fine.
I can tell if I just gave her a little bit of bait, I
Yeah,
can tell she'll take it. You understand?
absolutely.
I already know that. And the devil would say, man, you know, you can kind of work this one out.
Oh yeah.
But what I gotta do is use my imagination, go to the end of the thing, and paint the worst picture that I ever could paint.
Lord have mercy.
I see with me, I got things in categories, right? I have people's joy that matters to me.
Mm-hmm.
Their joy matters to me. So I
Yeah,
can put certain people up to represent a whole group of people. Like when my mom and dad was alive, I would put my mom and dad, I would say their joy matters to me. And so if I can keep them happy, then everybody that's connected to my mom and dad, my sisters, my brothers, and all them, my aunts and uncles, they'd be happy because my mom wouldn't want me to be fooling around with a woman. She wouldn't want to hear that. So I
yeah,
want to keep. I want to make her happy. Then when I came to ministry, I would put Pastor Mike and Dee Dee for ministry wise. See, their
absolutely.
joy matters to me, and if their joy, if I can put a smile on their face, everybody that's connected to them, and then I would have somebody over here. Lisa would be joy matters to me. Then I have somebody that represent all the friends. Their joy matters, and I would say if I got caught in a hotel room, or I got caught getting a woman pregnant, I got caught sleeping with somebody, what would they what would that look on their, how would they look, how would they feel, and now I will multiply that by everybody that they represent,
Man,
and then I look back at the girl and say, you ain't that fine. You fine, but you ain't that fine.
you ain't that fine. Look, it ain't. It's not worth
It's not worth it.
destroying all that you all have built. It's taken 28 years to build to where you are now, and one decision could crumble the whole ship. It could sink the whole ship. One
Yeah,
decision.
yeah.
Wow. So the categories, you gotta put that on Instagram or something, because people need to hear that kind of stuff, because that's why my prayer for myself is that I'm always sober minded, because when I'm in a sober state, I can think critically. A lot of times I've seen a lot of young guys and even women in ministry. I can only speak from a male perspective, but sometimes when we are in this position, we get overwhelmed because I ain't trying to judge no dude, Pastor Dewayne, but I done seen some cats. They ain't the best looking cats, but they got some of the best looking wives.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But it's like Caleb. Some people put themselves in an environment that pulls them towards doing stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
I don't hang around. I don't hang around people. I'm talking about hang around. I don't hang around people who cuss. People that are close to me. If you cuss, you ain't gonna be so close to me.
right.
I got different layers of relationships.
Yeah,
If you a cusser, I don't care if you're a pastor. You got cussing pastors.
absolutely.
You're not going. I don't care if you play. The Bible talks about don't let no corrupt communication come out of your mouth. So
Absolutely.
I ain't going for it. If
Absolutely.
you got chicks on the side, you got a problem with women, I'll minister to you, but I ain't hanging with you
Exactly.
because I got to make sure I keep my environment where it will give it gives birth to more of what I want.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That's powerful.
But
Okay.
that integrity on the belt, they get a hold of that and they do the 21 days after their little steps, man. I'm telling you, it has guys who were masturbating, people
Wow.
who were uh in sexual trap. One lady, matter of fact, she was from New Orleans too.
Uh-oh.
She emailed me and she said, man, I got a hold of that book. She said, everybody, especially the high schools, they should have this book. She said, she told me, I am 65 years old. I ain't giving nobody nothing no more. And I'm saying to
Oh
myself,
Lord.
what in the world was you giving?
She said I was giving it all.
She said, I was giving it up. She said, I ain't giving nobody nothing until they marry me.
That's powerful. Wow. Wow. So let me get to this last question here. I need you all to put something in the comments. If you have been enjoying Pastor Dewayne, I need you to put some emojis, put some hearts, something in the comments, and let him know that you have been receiving this. You are honored. You are so glad that he decided to join us and tune in so we can receive him and go to the next level. Here's my last question I really want to get into. Um, we were talking about earlier, a lot of ministers, they have this desire to experience some of the things you have experienced, and that is traveling across the country, ministering God's word, being on television, all that good stuff. But a lot of times when they get, you know, an invitation to the church around the corner, they do not, and I've seen guys, they don't submit their invitations, or some of them, hey, they may be at a place where they have several invitations, and so they have some sort of itinerary, whatever you may want to call it, but they don't submit that to their pastor. Is it necessary for, if I'm a minister in the ministry and I have these invitations, is it necessary for me to submit these invitations to my pastor?
Yeah, when I started, and I would say, yeah, because what you do is you would start, you would build a resume.
Mm-hmm.
You would build a resume, and for a I want to use the word faithfulness, or the word faithful means trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
You would build a track record of trust. So when I started first, I would ask Pastor Mike and get his permission before I said yes to the people. You
Hmm.
follow me? Matter of fact, uh, it was something I wouldn't go if he said yes and we had an event. I still wouldn't go if we had an event because home was always first. Now, me and Lisa, when we go out, we travel together, right?
Right.
The one time early in ministry, Lisa didn't go. Now, I'm talking about early in ministry. I used to ask, and then he got to a point. He said he already knew I ain't going when we got events. I'm not. I'm putting the ministry first. And then you talking about a couple of years after he said, okay, you ain't got to turn them in. You already because I had a resume. You
Exactly.
understand? It's almost like God. God never asks you to trust Him without Him first giving you His resume.
Absolutely.
God like to flex His muscles first, and then when He flexes His muscle, He said, "See that?
Absolutely.
This is what you can trust." So
Yeah.
let me tell you this story. I went to this ministry. It probably was 20 years ago, and this was when they asked me to come, I was blown away because it was one of the fastest growing churches in Richmond at that time, right?
Hmm.
And he asked me to come. I asked Pastor Mike, could I go? And then I went down there, right? Matter of fact, it was so funny. I know how that ministry kind of operate because the guy told me. They write a check for people and give them an honorarium from just writing a check. Where they didn't. The pastor was out of town, so they didn't do me like that. What they did was they took up an offering after I ministered. And one of the guys that go there, he said, "Man, that's strange." And I said, "Why you say that?" Because me and him was pretty tight. He said, "Because pastor just write a check." He said, "I guess he wanted to see what the people thought about you, and they wanted to see what they gave." So when they finally took up the offering and they gave me the offering, man, that thing blew me away because it was a nice size offering, right? So while I'm going home. We in the car. Lisa said, "Wow, they did that." She said, "He out of town next week. He gonna call you back." I said, "Nah, he ain't gonna call me back." She said, I'm telling you, he gonna call you back." We go all the way home. I'll never forget this. We had a spot in Temple Hill. I come down to the church, and Pastor Mike is down there. He's upstairs we had an audio booth that was upstairs, and
Hmm.
he was up there. They was doing something. I went up there, and he was asking me how the thing go. I said, "Man, it went really well, man. Blah 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 blah." And now, like when they took up the offering, matter of fact, the pastor called his wife, and I heard him. We was out at dinner. He said, she said, "Babe, they received," and she told him the amount that they received. He said, "Huh?
Hmm.
They gave him that?" And he was surprised, right? So we up in the booth, and the pastor called me on the phone. Now he out of town. He said, "Hey, I was calling you, man. I want to know, can you come back next week and teach?" I said, let me call you back because Pastor Mike was right there. I could have just, but I didn't want to do that on the phone. So I
Right.
said, "Hey, I call you back." So I'm serious. I'll never forget this. So I said, "Hey, Pastor, so and so, Pastor so and so, wanted me to come back next Sunday." He
Hmm.
said, "Nah." He said, "Nah. I need you Sunday." And I'm saying to myself, like, need me for what? Like, make sure ministry helps running all right.
Right.
It wasn't like we had a big event or whatever. He said he just told me no, and I was like in my mind like man, like no for what? Like I should tell you what they gave me, and maybe you kind
Exactly.
of like change your mind. So I called the guy on the phone and I said, "Hey, Pastor." He said, "Man," I said, "Man, I can't come. I got some things to do here at the ministry."
Yeah.
And it was wild. It was like at a point right there to be able to say, "Okay, are you going to submit?"
Yeah.
Or are you going to be upset and do it was but I mean the first thing you'd be thinking, because that's one of those difficult times, but it wasn't difficult submitting.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to myself, wow. But it's like God has increased my life and allowed me to go places that I never would have went if it wasn't for serving, sowing, and submitting.
That's powerful. The S's. That's it. That's the four S's. Yes. So look, this is what I need to do right before we go. if you enjoy Pastor Dwayne and you just receive so much from this, I need them to put this. Can y'all put his Cash App on the screen, because I need y'all to sow and bless Pastor Dwayne. There it is, right there. It's right there on the screen. If you give via Cash App, you know how to do Cash App. Man, sow something into Pastor Dwayne, because he has blessed me. I'm gonna make sure I sow tonight, because this word really, man, it challenged me on some things I need to do better. And so, if you are led to sow and you are blessed by this, I strongly encourage you to sow into Pastor Dwayne. And then also, if you want to read some of his books, he has great books: The Four S's of a Committed Leader, Integrity Below the Belt. Then I love one of his teachings. I don't know if they can get this on your site or not, but the sting of offense. Is it the deadly sting or is it the sting?
The deadly sting of offense.
Man, that's powerful. That's one of the best series I've ever listened to. If you find yourself being easily offended, Pastor Dwayne, I think we need that series right now in this day and time more than ever, because everybody is offended. Everybody is highly offended these days. And so, look, you need to be encouraged, man, and blessed by all these great products Pastor Dwayne has. Just go online. Is it DwayneFreeman.com?
DwayneFreemansMinistry.com.
Okay, Dwayne.
DwayneFreemansMinistry.com.
Okay, DwayneFreemanMinistries.com. I don't know if we can put that on the screen or not, but we'll try to. And so, look, head over there. You can be blessed and receive all those great products. There it is, right there on your screen. If you want to get a book, all that good stuff. I believe all these things will bless you and cause you to continue to grow in your walk with Christ. Pastor Dwayne, I can't say thank you enough for coming on here and man, just blessing us with your presence. And this was such rich information. I believe that somebody will walk out of here better after watching this broadcast. So thank you for watching, and all my family and friends. You know, Pastor Dwayne, we're trying to build this. The Lord told me to build this righteous nation. That's what the Lord told me to do these last about 2 weeks ago. He said, I want you to build this righteous nation. There's a nation of people, the standard that I have created. And so if you enjoy, you know, my what we do here with Righteous Connections, I'm inviting you to be a part of this righteous nation. You know, I believe there's something special that will take place because we chose to, man, push God's word, push his agenda over our agenda, and we will see this world changing. So I'm encouraging you, become a part of this righteous nation. Connect with us. Follow me on Facebook. That's one way we can stay together. On Facebook, it's right there on your screen, right here, Caleb J. Rowe Ministries. And then, of course, Instagram. You're on Instagram. You can follow me there at Caleb J. Rowe. Is right there on your screen as well. Let's build this righteous nation, and I'm telling you, something good is going to happen with to us together, doing this together. So, Pastor Dwayne, thank you, man. I love you. You my uncle. You know I always call you that. Been calling you that for years now, and so I'm grateful for you. Grateful for all that you do. You're such an amazing example to the body of Christ. I tell people, you hands down are one of the best assistant pastors in this world, because you set such an example and you set the bar so high. So we love you, and we love all of you all. Pastor Dwayne, any parting words, anything you want to share with everybody watching?
Yeah, before I give my parting words, my name is Dwayne Freeman, and I approve that last thing you just said. Hey, but I want to talk to the leaders that we have on here, Caleb. Before I leave, my thing, because I'm more into legacy minded leaders. Like I said, will your legacy inspire people to do something great, or want to be like you, or will they just forget about you?
Yeah,
See, I
that's
want you to think about that. Leave a legacy that will inspire people to do something great or want to be like you. Don't
yeah,
leave a legacy where they will forget you.
man, that's powerful. Legacy Leadership. I think, of course, I know that's another book that's on the way. So we just got to wait for that to be released. So we love y'all. We thank y'all. Thank you for tuning in to another Righteous Connections. We'll see y'all same time next Wednesday right here at 8:30 p.m. on Facebook Live and YouTube. We love y'all. See y'all soon. Bye-bye.
Love you, man.